there. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to build a simple timer app in which, after a given amount of time, you get a sound notification as well as a pop-up notification saying your time is up. For this app, we will be utilizing three components. We will be utilizing the clock component to serve as our timer, a sound component, and a notifier component. To begin with, let us create a new app, and I'm going to call this app Timer. For this app, we're just going to have one button on the screen, and that's going to be the start button for as soon as you want the timer to actually start. So for that, I'm going to drag a button onto the screen. I'm going to rename it to be Start Timer. And let's make it, and let's change the text on it to also be Start Timer. Make it slightly more pretty, increase the font to 28, change it to Roboto Regular, and I'm going to increase the width of it to make it 60%. And I'm also going to center it on the screen. So I'm going to go to Screen, and I'm going to center it. And then I'm also going to change the background color to be cyan. And then for the actual button, I'm going to change the background color of that as well to be a blue-gray. Okay, and let's actually change the title of the screen here from Screen 1 to be Timer. Okay, so the design aspects are done now. So now let's pull on the rest of the components that we need for this app. The first would be the notifier component, which is found in the user interface palette on the left-hand side. So I'm going to drag that on. So this is what's going to allow us to put a pop-up screen. So that's the first one. The second one we need is under media. We need a sound component so that after the time is up, you actually get a sound. And then the third one is we actually need the clock component, which is going to serve as our timer. So let's start here with the clock component. We want the timer to last for, in this case, we'll do 3 seconds. And the timer interval, which is in the properties, this is actually in milliseconds. So I'm going to change it from 1,000 to 3,000, which should give us 3 seconds. For the sound, I'm going to upload a sound file. This is the sound I wanted to make once the timer runs out. Clock timer sound. Press OK there. And that's it. The notifier will deal with in the blocks editor. So now let's actually go to the blocks editor. And we need to figure out what we want to do here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to say once we click the Start Timer button, we want the clock timer to actually start counting down. So I'm going to go to Start Timer, and I'm going to say when Start Timer.click, we want to enable the clock and have it start counting down. So I'm going to go down to clock 1, and I'm going to scroll down, and I am going to set the clock 1.timer enabled to being true. So that means we're activating the clock. And to set it to true, to turn it on, under the built-in section, I'm going to press logic, and I'm going to select true. There you go. So now what we want to say is now the clock is counting down. So then what we want to say is once the clock has finished counting down, we want it to play a sound, and we want it to display a notification. So let us press the clock component and drag when clock.timer onto the screen. And the first thing we want to do is we want it to play a sound. So I'm going to go to the sound component, and I'm going to call sound1.play. So now after the 3 seconds is over, I am going to get a sound. Next, what I want to do is I want to have a notification that says your time is up. So I'm going to go to the notifier component, and there's a lot of different types of messages that we can display. I actually want to ensure that the person actually reads the message. I want to make them have to press OK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this one down here that has a message title and a button text. And I'm going to drag that onto the screen. So now I need to go to the built-in functions, and I'm going to press text. And I need to drag 3 of them. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste 3 of them here. So the message I wanted to say, once your time is up, I wanted to say, time is up. Okay. The title of this, I can say is, you're done. And because I want to make sure that they actually see this notification, I want them to have to press an OK button. So I'm going to create a button that says OK on it. And then what we need to do is we actually need to, in order to ensure that we can, the timer gets reset, we want to actually now turn the timer off. So in order to do that, let's go to clock, and I'm going to go to set clock 1.timer enabled, and now I want to turn it off. So I'm going to turn it to false. And there you have it. After every 3 seconds, you are going to get the sound, and you're going to get a message that says you're done. And then we're resetting it by turning the clock to false, enabling it to become false. And so you can press the button over and over again, and there you have it. You have a timer.